Alright, in the previous video, I had somebody ask me, how did I grow my real estate business? I am 20 years old. I got my real estate license when I was 18. I've been in the business for almost 2 years now. And since I started, I've done over $6 million in residential real estate sales. When I started the first 6 months, I did zero business. The second 6 months, I did about $3 million. And then over the last year, I've done about another $3 million on my own, separate from the real estate team that I was on. And this is exactly how I generate a real estate business. Here's what you need to understand. The number of business that I do, the amount of money I make, is directly proportional to the number of people that I talk to about buying and selling real estate. The number of conversations I have about buying a real estate with potential buyers and sellers is directly proportional to the number of business, that of which I'm going to do. Now, there are other factors that impact this. One of those factors is how educated I am and my ability to close transactions. So the higher conversion rate I have, based on the number of conversations I have, the more business I'm going to do based on that number of conversations. Now, the question is, how do I connect myself with buyers and sellers? I need to create funnels. These are my funnels. The first funnel that I had when I first started was I cold called. So I cold called expired listings. These were homes that were on the market, didn't sell, came off market. I would call those homeowners and I'd say, hey, I saw that your property on 123 Main Street was for sale. Did that home ever sell, or is that still for sale? If it was still for sale, there's a reason why the home didn't sell. Normally that reason is because their prior agent was a shitty agent. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't market the property right. They didn't take proper photos of the home. Or maybe something happened during the transactional process where it wasn't negotiated right and the deal fell apart. For whatever reason, something went wrong. So I got to figure out, okay, when the home was on the market and that agent was following up with you every single week discussing why the home isn't selling and what you guys can do differently, what did that agent tell you was the main reason the home didn't sell? 99.9999999% of the time, that agent wasn't following up with that person every single week. They likely totally lost communication with that potential seller. And for whatever reason, they did not alter their marketing campaign or the listing, and they did not come up with a strategy to make the home sell. So normally, there's an issue there where the seller of which says, since we signed that listing agreement with the agent, the home was put on the market and we got no results. I don't know why it didn't sell. The agent wasn't communicating with us. We don't know what happened. And then I come in and I present the solution. I say, okay, well, let me sit down with you and show you exactly what we're going to do differently to get you a top dollar buyer into this home and get you guys sold. Where do you plan on going? That's the cold call structure. So I called expired listings. I even called neighborhoods. So homes that I might have already sold, I would circle prospect that neighborhood. So I sold a home in Long Branch. What I did was I made a mile radius search and I called every single neighbor in that neighborhood. And what that conversation looks like was they pick up the phone and I say, hey, is this the homeowner of 123 Main Street? They say, yeah, what do you want? My name's Ethan. I'm a local realtor. I just sold your neighbor's property over on Chatham's Drive. We sold it for this much. The reason why I was giving you a call, because of our marketing, we have a lot of buyers looking to move into the neighborhood. I wanted to see if any of the neighbors, normally when a home pops off the market, a new one comes to market shortly. I wanted to see if any of the neighbors were thinking about selling their home because we have buyers and we can help you out. Do you have any interest in making a move? That's what that conversation looks like. That starts the conversation and that allows me to create a funnel of potential people in a neighborhood who of which may be interested to make a move over the next 6, 12, 18 months, maybe even 2 years. So that's the cold call funnel. After a couple of months, like 2 or 3 months when I was on my first real estate team, we partnered with Zillow.com. We joined the Zillow Flex program. What Zillow did is they used to sell leads to real estate agents. So they're a third-party website. Most people use Zillow to do all of their home searches. So they're scrolling, looking at listings at the end of the night when they're in bed, and they're looking at homes that are available that they might be interested in taking a look at. When that consumer on Zillow finds a property that they're interested in, they're going to inquire on that property through Zillow.com to take a look. Now, what Zillow did is they would take that potential buyer, they would take their contact information, and they would sell that connection to a real estate agent. Now, these connections were pretty expensive. You would buy these phone calls for $300-400. Zillow would make $300-400, and they'd give you that connection. and then it was your responsibility to take that phone call, meet them at the property, and help that person make a home purchase and get your 2% commission. Now, the problem with that is Zillow had no control over the kind of experience that their consumer was getting. So they'd sell that lead to a random agent, and now it's the agent's responsibility, and they had no idea what kind of experience the consumer on their website was getting from that agent. So Zillow totally changed their structure. What they did was, instead of selling these leads to real estate agents, they would give these leads through the Zillow Flex program. So your team would have to qualify for the program, they would accept your team, and they would start giving you buyer connections. Now, what this allowed Zillow to do is now they can monitor the experience that of which their consumer was getting. So they would give me the buyer connection for free. I would pick up the phone, I'd say, hey, this is Ethan Hines. I see you're interested in 123 Main Street. When would you like to go see that property today? I would meet them at the property, and I would take notes through my CRM, that of which Zillow can monitor the entire time. So Zillow is going to make sure that I am providing their customer with a 5-star experience. And because they gave that lead they gave the lead to me for free, they have the ability to monitor the kind of experience that I'm giving to their consumer. So when I pick up that initial phone call, they can listen to the phone call to make sure that I'm following the script that they want me to follow, and that I'm providing the consumer with a 5-star experience. I meet with them at the property, I have to take notes, put that into the CRM database that we use, which was Follow Up Boss, and Zillow had access to all of the notes and all of the follow-ups that I'd be giving to the consumer. So Zillow has the ability to monitor the experience out of which their consumer is getting. Now the question that you're probably asking is, if they're giving me these connections for free, how does Zillow make money? Great question. So I receive this buyer connection from Zillow. I give them a 5-star experience. My job is to meet them at the property and help this potential buyer make their first home purchase. Zillow monitors the experience that I'm giving them, and they train me to convert the lead with a 5-star experience. When I get that client to buy a house and we close on that transaction, I get paid a 2% commission. Now, where Zillow makes the money in this new format, I pay them a 35% referral. So say I make 2%, I close on a $500,000 house with a Zillow lead. That $500,000 house makes me $10,000. Zillow gets 35% of that $10,000, so they make $3,500. So now, instead of selling leads for $400 a pop, I convert about 1 out of 10 leads, and they make $3,500. So that's the new structure that Zillow created, that of which I was a part of. Now, after the first 12 months, it was more like 14 to 16 months, I was on the team, I was taking Zillow connections, but the big problem is, when I start generating my own business, I no longer have to pay these huge referral fees. So I make a lot more money on the deals out of which I generate on my own. So it got to the point where I closed a couple of Zillow deals. I did about 2 to 3 million in sales, and I was starting to generate my own business with my sphere or my social media. So I ended up leaving the Zillow structure. I left the real estate I was on, and I became an independent real estate agent, and I started my own brand, Hindsight Realty. From there, now I don't generate business through Zillow. I'm no longer affiliated with that program, and now I strictly cold call, and I do my business through the social media that I have. I have potential people that reach out to me because of my social media, and they know that I'm in the real estate business, and they come to me. That's my own marketing funnel, or my sphere of influence. This is friends, family members, past clients that refer me to new potential buyers and sellers that of which I help them buy and sell a property, and that's where I generate business from. So this is the entire structure. I had 3 funnels. Now I only have 2 to 3, my social media, my sphere of influence, and the leads that of which I cold call and follow up with every single week. And that's really how I did $6 million in sales over the last 2 years as a 20-year-old real estate agent.